Con Stathopoulos and Josh Phegan come together in an incredible podcast, Grow, Scale, Master.
An energetic approach to drive progress, master skills, build strengths and put the strategy back into rapid business and personal success.
Backed by real-world experience in rapid scaling to playing the long-term game of business, it's the story of all the lessons learned on the journey to mastery.
Be inspired, renew your energy and chase the future with Grow, Scale, Master.
Con, I reckon that you get known for what you execute, not for what you know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. You know what? I'm 46. I just turned 46, right?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
But let me tell you, it's taken me a long time to actually really understand that.
Did you know you didn't reply to my birthday message?
I know.
I sent it twice.
I know because I was so busy. It was my first day back at work from being on leave. And don't make me feel bad on the podcast.
So you get known for what you execute. Yeah.
No, but
that
you know
is
what?
like
the older that I become,
yes,
the wiser I become, because never a truer statement has been said.
Yes.
Because you know what? I see all these people that come to Blueprint, they go to ARIC, they do all this training, they've got coaches, this, that, the other. But if they don't execute, then it's absolutely down the drain, right?
What's the difference between the word implementation and execute?
I was never good at riddles, Josh.
One I can spell and one I know there's definitely a result.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And implementation sounds hard. So we've outruled that inside of our business.
It's what can you execute?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I like
so,
that.
So what are we executing on right now?
Yeah.
So when you think about you get known for what you execute, the first most important foundational idea is defining strategy.
Agreed.
Now, I've spoken about it a lot, but the Macca's conversation around digital delivery and drive-through, 3 key ideas. 1.1 billion in extra sales. Yeah. And so what the whole idea here is that literally, so what absolutely is that strategy? And what I was thinking about, you know, like sometimes people will say, oh, Josh, how big is your organization? Is it one person? Is it 5 people? Is it 30 people?
Yeah.
You know, they actually don't know. And I said, you know, the most important foundational idea is to actually get hyper-focused execution teams.
Yes.
So I was thinking about like, you know, you have these days
we do.
where you actually get in with your team and
off-sites,
Yeah, off-sites, but you called it something else where we're just going to work on that thing for the next like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Hack days.
Hack day.
And as a part of that hack day, we just want to get a ton of progress on this one particular thing.
Correct. One thing.
So either we're building a new recruitment document or we're over here reimagining our systems or we're in a position that we're talking about Super Saturday, whatever it might be. But what's the power of like having 2, 3, 4 people that are like sitting in there that can all share a pizza to be able to get that happen?
Just think about it, right? We're about to do a merger and acquisition, and that's gonna be probably one of our largest ones, right? So if we remove the key people that run BAU, then BAU starts to fall apart.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. So what we need to do is we need to put a team together that's going to execute brilliantly on transferring legacy systems, technology, people, culture, PMs, etc. So I think having a hyper-focused execution team is critical, but you got to have a hyper-focus and clear strategy set first. You've helped us with that with our strategy, tactics, and measurements. That's what we go by, right?
The STM charts.
The STM charts.
Yeah.
That's what our whole business is all built on right now in terms of what we're trying to execute. Not trying to implement, not trying to create, what we're trying to execute. So if you can take 2 or 3 or 4 people, they don't all necessarily need to be in property management or sales or customer experience. They need to be people that are touching the client. So at the end, they can sit there and go, yeah, that solution's going to work. That strategy's going to work. It's a no-brainer.
So Ari Weinzig wrote a book called Bottom Line Change. And it's probably one of the best books to read on this because a lot of organizations actually really fundamentally fail at their change management process. So people hate change when it happens to them, but they love change when they're a part of it. So what you do here is that he works through like a 5-step formula. So the first thing that he says, number 1 is define what the problem is. Number 2, develop some positive vision for the future and some leadership agreement around that. Number 3, who's going to be impacted by that particular thing happening. Number 4, what's our action plan? And number 5, then we go and do it. Right. So let's go for example. Let's say, for example, that you said, okay, great, you needed to change CRM. So what's actually the problem that you've got? The current CRM is really clunky. No one knows how to use it. It's not good on mobile. You can't do search. It doesn't allow you to do bulk emailing. There's a problem that doesn't allow you to do bulk SMS. It's in a position that we've got problems with how it feeds to the major portals, like XYZ. Okay, great. So what's some positive vision for the future? Mobile first CRM that allows us to quickly email, quickly SMS a group of buyers or sellers around a listing, around a sale when it actually happens. You get the idea. And so you've got like a whole of that. And then you start to think, well, who would be impacted? Well, the people that would be impacted would be operations, a salesperson, a marketing person, compliance, legal, you get the idea, IT, Okay, great. So what we do is we bring those people into the room and we actually then talk through what the problem is and we really work out that we're working on the right problem. We really get crystal clear about the leadership agreement on what success actually looks like. And then we build out the action plan. So number 1, build out a requirements list. Number 2, analyze opportunities. Number 3, lock down to the best 2. Number 4, make sure that it's actually meeting requirements. Number 5, bring it into the business, into a team that can test it first.
Yep.
So your best 2 or 3 people that then can go and do those things. And then once you've then got those 1 or 2 people doing it and you've got that right, then you then start to roll it out into the next team, into the next team, into the next team until that office is on board, and then the second office and the third and the fourth, and you get the idea. And then now you've actually done it because you've really got clarity on the action plan.
You could do this exactly with a piece of stock that's overpriced or not moving.
Oh, you could do it with lots of things in recruitment too.
Yeah, correct. Like define the problem. I haven't solved it. Develop a positive vision for the future.
Yes.
I'm laughing because it's sold, right? But think about it. Just like define the problem.
Yes.
I've got a product that no one wants to buy at that price.
Yes.
So the problem is price.
Yes.
The second thing is what's the positive vision for the future? I can get this sold if... Who's impacted? Well, clearly the owner's impacted, and so is the agent, so to speak. What's the action plan? Well, I need to do a second a bump or an e-brochure. I need to get an e-newsletter out. I need to do another buyer match. I need to call them, etc. Like it's a good strategy, and then I just got to do it. So strategy, I like it.
So what I love about this whole thing is that often you get your worldview, but you don't necessarily get other people's worldview. So you're like, oh, X, Y, Z, but then compliance is like, no, but we also need ABC.
Yeah.
And then also to tech's like, well, hang on a second, we need this to actually make that happen.
Yeah.
And so this is the really important part is that like often what an organization does, and we're founders, and so what do we often do? Mate, I saw this thing, and then, it's in the business. I signed up. I used the credit card. I don't know how it works. And then the problem is that
you're looking at me,
and then you've got all this staff.
Yeah,
but there's no momentum inside of the business.
I totally agree. I think I love that, but it's all about the definition of the strategy. I think that's where it starts.
And so when I'm working with strategy inside of our business, Kylie, that who we love inside of the business, been with us for a long time. Kylie or I, either one of us, will play the healthy skeptic. Yeah. But what happens if we don't need that? But what happens if we could do this a different way?
Yes.
But have you thought about ABC?
Yeah.
And so we will pressure test before we actually.
It's a nice way of saying constructive criticism.
Yes.
I like that. The healthy skeptic. It is
proper pressure testing.
It is. Yeah.
When you go to think about building the dream team, so I'm working on a major project at the moment, and when I'm thinking about my dream team, I'm like, okay, great. So I need to make sure I've got a phenomenal person who can actually build the digital experience of this. Yep. I need to get someone who's really good at the graphic design. I've got my incredible audio producer who produces all our podcasts. I've got my videographer that does that. I've got a really good guy on sound and lighting, and I've got a great person when it actually comes to the venue itself.
Perfect.
And I've got someone amazing on catering, and now I've got some really good people on front of house. And so that's going to be my dream team for producing that particular thing. Now, every single time I turn to people that are known to execute.
Yeah.
Now, Con, I'm also known to pay fast.
Yeah.
So if someone sends me an invoice,
I'm the same,
ideally get paid that day.
But same.
Yeah. Now, the most important foundational concept, though, is that I also expect that when I pick up the phone and I ring you, oh, Con, can I get you to do ABC? That you also do that at speed as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And or at least, anticipate, the conversations that actually happen around it. Now, this is the other thing is that, like, most business doesn't look necessarily at the iterations. So what are the things that you can do or to make sure that you get better? And so alternatively, for many years we've got Blueprint. And one of the things that happened in the first ever Blueprint is that when people were there, they would get their jug of water, they would pour the water, and then they'd put the water down on a piece of crockery, known as a plate.
Clink.
And it would go click. And then
you are a freak, Josh Phegan. I know the clicker. The clickers
had pens.
Because that was me. I used to click.
And so then I was like, okay, what worked well? Even better if. What worked well? Venue was great. Location was amazing. We've been with Merivale for over 15 years. Justin Hem's been amazing to us. Like all of that goes well. But then I just went, even better if. Guess what?
Yeah, no clickers and no crockery.
And so now, like Ivy, you're amazing at that. Merivale's incredible with us because guess what? They don't put the crockery plate underneath any of the water jugs anymore. It goes underneath a triple layer of cloth.
Yes.
So that literally is a bit of leak proof and XYZ. And all of our pens don't have a clicker on them.
I'm bringing one to next week's Blueprint. So
and security will search you out.
Can I tell you, like our theme in our business, we pick a theme, as you know, this year is better is better.
Yes.
Perfect example of that. You just kind of you just nailed that. So we had excellent auction result on the weekend, above reserve. We had, despite the weather in Sydney, it was a phenomenal result, right? Mm-hmm. And there was 3 key things that we could have done better. And it's not criticism, mm-hmm. It's actually an observation. The first one is we went to the trouble of letterbox dropping, door knocking, and bulk SMSing everyone out in the community to come. We had over 125 people sitting out in a cold winter's day in Sydney. Mm. No one was checking anyone in.
Yes.
First opportunity, not mistake, first opportunity. Second one is we were videoing it. We didn't have a sign that said, you're being filmed.
Yes.
So if you're uncomfortable, let us know. We had 3 or 4 bidders that I saw walk across the road. They didn't want to bid. They didn't want to be on camera.
Yes.
Right? We're in Western Sydney. Remember that?
Yes.
West is best.
Yes.
And then the third one was we didn't leverage it. So one of our competitors leveraged it yesterday on Sunday before we could have.
Yes.
So what's your acronym?
What worked well, even better if?
What worked well, even better if.
Yeah.
I love that because that is how you get the incremental marginal gains of growing and going to another level.
Yeah, Peter Knight over in the UK taught us that.
It's amazing.
And one of the things that we do is like literally at the end of like delivery of every project, whether or not it's Firms of the Future or doing a growth mode or doing something else inside of the business, we always stop and go, hey, let's pay homage to the stuff that really went well here. But then it's also let's look for where the improvements could be. And you know what? Like, it's so rewarding when you actually have a look at the stuff that went really well. Yeah. Now, for years, people wouldn't understand it. But when you had a name badge with us, and we stopped doing it only maybe a year or 2 ago, but if you had a full stop after your name, it actually meant something.
I know this. You've told me this. I'm a digital client.
Yeah. So from that point of view, like for those that don't know, they don't know. But for those that know, they definitely know. And business is all about the level of sophistication that allows you to provide a better quality level of service and experience to the people that you're working with.
Agreed.
Because you're clear about why you do it, when you do it, and how it works. And this is like kind of like a foundational concept that whenever you're thinking about really improving your business, first of all, to get good at execution, define what success actually looks like and work all out to do it. Now, here's the interesting thing. It didn't take you a year, 2 years, or 5 years to get Super Saturday live.
No.
When you thought about it, there was an innate fire within you. You made a decision that you wanted to become better at it.
Correct.
You got on the phone, you spoke to a couple of people that have done similar types of things around the world over many years. You learned from them, you packaged it up, you got an A4 document together, you printed it out, you got it in front of people, and you made it happen.
Yeah, correct.
Now, each year, it's now getting unstoppable levels of momentum.
Correct.
But here's the key thing. Why do we forget that that's actually what made you great on that thing, but you don't do it on other projects that your business is stalling on?
Because I reckon the problem that we have as humans is we don't have that instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or do you think we try to bite off too much?
Yeah, correct. I was going to say, or we try to boil the ocean.
So if I said to you, there's 3 things that you can execute this year, what are they going to be inside of your business?
Yeah, I can already tell you productivity per agent. So how do we get days on market down, commissions up, listings and sales? The clear stuff, right? So have they got a business plan, all that type of jazz. Second one is recruitment, and the third one is experience. Mm-hmm. It's so basic, it's not funny, but you are right. It's the energy and enthusiasm and the passion that someone has into that. So for example, I've seen one of our new guys, Ben Davenport. He's not new, he's been with us now for 15, 16 months, but he's written just under $1 million in his first full year by himself in a pretty competitive market. He has put a strategy in place where he's been passionate about his market, passionate about high quality marketing, passionate about high quality relationships and listings and getting high quality results. And that's been his simple strategy. So it's not that hard if you want to execute with brilliance, but you got to execute, right?
Experiences that rapidly shaped you.
I'll never ever forget that before we all went digital on statements, and I don't know if you still remember the dot metrics printers that they should have.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And they used to do that. My dad would sign every statement before it was put into the envelope to go to the landlord.
Wow.
So he'd read over, make sure that everything was right, and then send it. And then he would then put a little notebook to the side on key people that he thought, I should ring them. I should have a conversation
so as a reminder.
with them. As reminders on like, these are important people or XYZ. And I know that my dad had 600 landlords.
Wow.
Do you know?
Every month.
Do you know how?
How? Because you folded them.
No, because I had to lick all 600 envelopes. And I can still taste envelopes today.
That explains so much.
Yes.
Something that's changing your view.
Spend more time on defining the problem than the solution. We had the chance to be able to work with Hilary Corner out of Toyota, and she was involved in their case and business process improvement. And she said, most of the challenge, and I want you to really think on this, most of the challenge in life is that most people think they've defined the problem and then go about putting the solution in, and the solution never solves it. And so here's this. Do you know what Toyota worked out?
What's that?
They don't need to worry about the brakes. They don't need to worry about airbags. They don't need to worry about anything else.
What do they need to worry about?
They needed to get into autonomous driving because all the issues was the driver.
Oh, wow.
And are you prepared for that? Because we're off, developing ABS and airbags and XYZ, when in all reality...
There won't be drivers.
The drivers were actually the problem.
Yeah.
Because, you had too much alcohol, or you did
correct.
XYZ, or you were inexperienced, or the car went too fast. And so this is that whole key thing, is that really make sure that we're defining the problem. And so this is all 100% about getting the strategy approach of how could we get it better, easier, faster to make sure that we've got a much better quality business.
One thing that's changing my view at the moment is, if you want better quality results, ask better quality questions. So I made a mental pact and decision this year that I'm never leaving any conversation without full clarity from my end and from the other party's end.
On what happens
on anything, good, bad, it doesn't really matter. There's not really bad anything, right? But it's all about
at least know you didn't close it.
No, correct. So, for example, last week, my first week back from being on leave, we had a listing appointment with one of our agents. And when we spoke about fee, I saw there was a twitch, right? And, normally you kind of go, hey, that was a great meeting, shake hands, thank you so much, we'll think about it, we'll walk out. And I just said, look, do you mind if I could just touch on one thing, because I just noticed something and maybe I've got it wrong. It just felt like there was a level of discomfort when we spoke about the fee. Bang, opened up Pandora's box. We won that listing because we went deeper and wider.
And you were tuned into that moment.
Exactly.